Hello again, welcome to my channel. I'm at my allotment today, and similarly to my garden and everything at home, I've barely set foot here for 12 months. Like I mentioned last time, I had some medical issues last year, so everything's really overgrown. I used to have all the allotment, but only the back half of it now is mine. I gave the front half up a few years ago. So this is slowly going to be attacking this and trying to get it reasonably tidy again. One of the issues I have is arthritis, especially in my knees, so hence all the tires. It's a lot easier, I find, to grow above ground. Similarly at home, you're not seeing them yet, but I have a few raised beds I made over the years, so I'll be tidying all this up. These red sheets are all curtains off the side of wagons. They're really good for killing the light, so under here it'll all be really nice weed free ground. One of the things I'll be doing later, I've got a tub of kitchen waste with me. This was full to the top, this compost heap, Friday before last, so what's that, 10-11 days. I think there's some kind of a monster living in here that eats compost. Excuse the noise of the plane, I'm in an airport flight path here. So there's in amongst that area there's red currants, black currants and gooseberries. In that kind of an old polytunnel frame there's red gooseberries. I've got a greenhouse here which I need to replace 2 of the panels, but struggling to get this polycarbonate sheet in these sizes now. So last time I made a couple of wooden frames and wrapped them in polythene, so I need to just redo that till I can find the right size sheets again. This is a bit of a strange greenhouse. It's an aluminium Dutch light. It's 6 foot long and 8 foot wide, so it's actually wider than it is long. But inside I can plant stuff in an L shape, and it does actually work really well. And having the canes leaning in means a lot of the time the fruit hangs forward, making it easier to pick. I've got a couple of some corn and some courgettes and a cucumber there I need to put in. This is obviously my garden shed or allotment shed. I made this about 10 years ago out of old roof joists which salvaged from a building that was being pulled down. One of the things I'll be sort of getting working again is this is an actual hydroponic thing I made a couple of years ago. It's you can't see it for weeds. There's a tub at the end where the nutrients go. It all runs off 12 volt solar. I'll show you the wiring and everything another day, but I need to get all this cleaned up. This is brilliant for strawberries and salad crops, lettuce and stuff like that. I need to make some more of these collars. That's like a 3D printed collar I made that just keeps the pot straight and allows it to, like a saddle, sit on the pipe. But I had strawberries in the top one and all lettuce and stuff in the bottom one, and it just worked fantastic. There's a little timer in there, so in the hours of daylight it would just switch on for 5 minutes every hour. It flood the top tube with liquid, drain into the bottom one, then return to the tank. So it's pretty much autonomous. So I'll be sorting that out. I've also got another project at home that I was 3D printing the parts for, like a vertical hydroponic grow tower. So I'll show you that at some point as well as I get round to working on that. I've got quite a bit on my hands here. I've just called after work. Technically, I mean, I'm still getting used to saying it to myself. Technically or legally, I'm disabled now. I'm not sort of used to saying that out loud yet, but I still I'm not on benefits or anything. I still work a full-time job and sort of call here after work on a night for an hour or 2, alternate evenings, and try and spend the other evening doing a bit of my garden at home. But I've got a bit to do. I might bring you back before I go home, otherwise I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Cheers now. Hi, welcome back. Just before I head off, I got the cucumber planted up. This is a all-female variety, an F1 hybrid. An all-female variety means it's self-fertilizing, so every flower is a potential fruit, unlike non-all-female varieties or things like pumpkins and courgettes, where you actually have male and female flowers on the plant, and it relies on the insects to trample in, you know, the pollen on a male flower to go and fertilize the female flowers. So these don't rely, they still rely on insects, but they don't need, obviously they only need the insect to disturb the pollen. So the other thing with cucumbers, if you're unaware, I don't know if the camera will show that, try and raise them up in the center. Cucumbers really hate having the central stem wet, so if you kind of raise it up a bit in the center, when you water it, the water runs off to the outsides. That way you know, you keep the stem a bit drier. Now, like I think I said in my other video, I tend to use these builder's buckets just as plant pots. They get plenty of compost in them, especially with tomatoes, as grow bags aren't really suitable for tomatoes. Tomatoes like to be deep rooted, not shallow rooted. So you can get your grow bag and just empty it into like a bucket and drill a few holes in the bottom. And these plastic trays were just the cheapest plastic trays I could find in the local supermarket, and that means any sort of excess watering will go down into the tray rather than just run into the ground, and potentially the plant can soak it back up as it needs it then. But another plane going over, nightmare these planes. But that'll do me for today. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Cheers now.